Yo, we're about to go to San Diego Comic-Con. Let's chat about some hot comic books. Another week, another list. Although, prior to us being together at San Diego Comic-Con, by the time the community's watching this video, we're there at the biggest convention for comic books in the world.
That's right, we already have a bunch of live streams scheduled over on Whatnot. They're gonna be insane. Me and Tom, the Whatnot Wednesday crew, everybody hanging out. It's gonna be a blast.
Join us on Whatnot. Links are in the description. And let's talk about the Key Collector Hot 10, the comic books defining this generation of collectors like we do every single week. Hit the subscribe, slap the like button, and let's talk about Fantastic Four, issue 57, debuting in 1966, a iconic, classic Jack Kirby Dr. Doom cover.
A book that we've talked about before, Jack Kirby goodness with Doom's portrait front and center. You got the space background, Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer.
We haven't seen a 9.6 graded copy or higher since 2020. And back then, it was a 9.6 that sold for $2,400. The last time a 9.8 sold publicly was back in 2015, hot damn.
Which means those high grade books are gonna go crazy once they hit the market. Check out the lower grades, a 3.5 sold for $135 back in December. It's up 67%, now selling for $225.
The 7.5 hit $450 back in April, up 9%, now selling for an all-new record of $489. We expect to see Dr. Doom as soon, either by name, in reference, or in full, as early as Black Panther 2. There are so many rumors, leaked images that are not confirmed, but that expectation is so solid that it's causing the internet to buzz near every week, pushing near every Dr. Doom key up in price. Next at the list at number 9, Uncanny X-Men number 100, debuting in 1976. The classic battle between the original X-Men and the new X-Men on one cover.
That's right, you got the OG X-Men and the new giant-sized team facing off for this anniversary issue. It's also the first time we get the Fastball special where Colossus launches Wolverine at his enemies.
We've had a few 9.8 white pager sales this year. It hit its peak back in February for $5,000. Take a look at this June sale for $31.20. Some dips in price, but mutants are in the horizon sooner than anyone might think because we may get information as early as this weekend.
I tell you what, I'd be happy if I was the one who picked it up for $31.20. Mutant Gene is confirmed in the MCU via Ms. Marvel, and by the time you see this, we'll be at San Diego Comic-Con, and like Tom said, we might already get mutant announcements. We got a 7.5, which sold for $250, 12% higher than its $224 12-month average.
The 8.0 hit $310 this week. That is 16% up over its 12 months average, which was $268. Then we have the 8.5. That sold for $350 this week, 12% up over a 12-month average, which was $312. Clearly, members are putting their money down now before the mutant buzz goes nuts.
Before we move on to number 8, make sure to download Key Collector Comics, the best comic book app in existence. It's where we get all the data for this video. And actually, these lists come out days before the video drops.
Support the show, link in the description for both Androids and iPhones. And if you use code TOM101, you unlock a free 2-week subscription of the app in its entirety. It is a wealth of knowledge. Get dangerous with funny books. Start learning about those comics. Learn your keys and so much more at the list at number 8. Gem, Ditko, early single-digit Spidey is on fire.
Single-digit Spider-Man is always on fire. Amazing Spider-Man issue 4, the first appearance of the Sandman, but also the first time Spider-Man refers to himself as the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
We saw the return of Sandman in the latest Spider-Man film. Completed his story arc. We saw that with so many other villains and all their keys. Even the Sinister Six, who we didn't get, moved up in price as we approached the movie and then skyrocketed in price days after, weeks after, months after. Take a look at this 9.4, breaking records this past June, selling for $50,400. Hot damn.
And those types of big sales cause what we call the trickle-down effect. All the lower grades tend to benefit from these monster sales. How about the lowest grade, for instance, a 0.5? It sold for $799 in August. Comes up for sale now, boom, 11% increase, selling for $885.
We see a 4.5 that sold for $2,295. That is up 7% over what it's been selling for over the last 12 months, which was an average of $2,146.
Now, the 5.0 didn't break an all-time record, but it did have its third highest sale, selling for $3,060, which is also 3% above its 12-month average.
Consider that. It's 3% higher than its 12-month average, and it's the third highest sale of all time.
And it goes to show you that it doesn't have to be an all-time high record sale to be significant. Just like the CGC 6.0, it sold for $3,799, which is 2% above its 12-month average.
Now at number 7, more news that we hope to see break this weekend. New Mutants 98, the first appearance of Deadpool in comics, debuting in 1991. We saw a 6.0 sell for $295 this week. The average was $266 over the last 12 months. That means it's up 11%. People are hoping, crossing their fingers, for a Deadpool 3 announcement, some type of update, which is why this book is starting to sell more now than it has been, because this book has seen some crazy heights over the last 2 years and has dropped down. This may be some of the last opportunities to secure this awesome key book at a steal.
Yeah, this book has had numerous peaks ever since the 2016 Deadpool movie announcement. You remember like the test footage that came out? It blew everyone's mind and led us to the Deadpool that we have today. And like Tom said, it's going to have a huge spike once we get some official news, so might be a good time to buy in before that hits.
Take a look at this 9.0 going for $460, up 9% over its $421 average. This was a key book that blew up during the comic boom in 2021. Take a look at the 9.8 for consideration. The heights the newsstand 9.8 reached was $5,200. Recent newsstand sales as late as July are hitting $3,550.
The CGC 9.4 newsstand is up on the rise as well. It just sold for $715, which is 16% above its $615 average.
The 9.4 newsstand creeping up is gotta give some members confidence. The 9.8, however, seems a bit volatile. Members are throwing money down hoping they hear news this weekend is my suspicion. We saw 9.8 sell for $1,995 this week. That is up 11% over the 12 months average of $1,800. But a day later, a 9.8 direct market copy sold for $1,590.
Now that was a good buy because he still got meat on the bones based on the 90-day average and definitely based on that last sale. If there's a Deadpool announcement at SDCC, I think they're going to be in good shape.
At the list at number 6, Fantastic Thor Annual number 2. We're not done talking about Dr. Doom.
Another classic Kirby Doctor Doom cover, this time with the clean white background. It is the first appearance of Boris, who's a friend of Doom, also happens to be the father of Doom's deceased childhood love, Valeria. But most importantly, it's a battle between Doom and Rama Tut.
Classic cover, Dr. Doom, old book, thick book, white pager, tough book and high grade. How tough? We haven't seen a high graded copy since May, and it was an 8.5. That book sold for $4,300, and that was a record.
So we do have an all-time high record-breaking sale, but before we get to that, let's talk about the 3.0, which sold for $404, 3% above its $392 average. The next bump up, a 3.5, sold for $488 this week, which is also 3% above its $474 average.
And then we have the record breaker. Clearly, members are investing in classic Dr. Doom covers. And when higher graded copies just don't show up on the marketplace, members are happy with what they can get if it's above a mid-grade. 6.5 in May sold for $1,695, up 5%, approaching the 2K marker, landing at $1,788 HOT10.
See, I told you we had a record breaker. Midway through the list, number 5, we have Thor Annual 5 with a Thor vs. Hercules cover.
Post Love and Thunder, light spoilers. This book is up 883% this week. We have a Thor versus Hercules classic cover depicted wonderfully, but most importantly, this is the first appearance of the comedic relief in the movie, Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder, the goats that pull Thor around when he loses the cosmic powers that allow him to fly.
So spoiler alert, double key, we got the appearance of Hercules in the post-credit scene, plus James Gunn confirmed that Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder will reappear for the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
An increase of 883% in copies sold week over week. This book made it on the trending list and shot to midway on the Hot 10. Clearly, those goats made an impact. An 8.0 went for $103 back in May. Now, an increase of 12% selling for $115.
The CGC 8.5 sold for $165 with no previous sales data. We have a 9.4 that broke record. It sold for $200 back in April. It's up 45%, now selling for $289.
There are only 8 copies currently graded at a 9.8 on the census. The last 9.8 sold back in 2014 for $251. That's up now this week 239% with an all-new record of $850. Hot damn.
Moving on to number 4, we have another Spider-Man key, but this time we're in the Bronze Age with ASM 238, the first appearance of Hobgoblin.
This is one of those weird keys you just gotta know. This book came with temporary tattoos on the inside, and if one went in to remove the tattoos, they would tear the insert. So you're looking for a completed copy. It matters. Members want those tattoos more than they want an incompleted book.
You know, we didn't get Ned Leeds as Hobgoblin in Spider-Man No Way Home. We had the footage that kind of insinuated that Jacob Batalon was getting into shape for the role. Then he also shared a social media post holding a Hobgoblin action figure.
We know it's coming, and this is one of those key books people just love. Take a look at this 6.5 direct market copy, last going in 2020 for $275, up 11%, now selling for $306. Let's take a look at the 9.6 going for $1,200 this week. The 12-month average for this book in that grade was $1,000. That's an increase of 20%.
Now we got to talk about newsstands. A CGC 9.4 sold for $850, which is an 8% increase over its 12-month average of $787.
The 9.6 selling for $1,300 is up 13% over its $1,148 12-month average. And then we got the 9.8 newsstand to discuss because the last sale of $4,048 is near what the heights of the direct market copies sold for in 2021.
It is up 7% over its 12-month average of $3,792, and it looks like it's got a little bit of room to grow.
Especially when you consider the heights this book reached during the comic boom was 58 hundo hot damn. Next at the list, at number 3, oh my goodness, Jem, I traded my copy. I'm getting a little worried. Nah, just kidding. Shout out Rob. Tomb of Dracula number 1, Neil Adams' goodness, debuting in 1972.
Rob got that Tomb of Dracula 1 in a 9.8, but you did get that sweet Journey into Mystery 83.
And it's a white pager, which will be important information shortly. Anthony Starr, the actor who portrays Homelander in The Boys, is rumored to portray Dracula in possibly Blade, which, since the Moon Knight appearance that didn't happen, is where the spec is pointing towards.
Anthony Starr scares me to death as Homelander. I can't imagine him as the head vampire in the MCU, but we have a CGC 7.0 to report on. It's sold for $690, which is outpacing its 12-month average by $20.
Then we have an 8.0 selling for $700, which is 2% up over its 12 months average of $683. We also, just yesterday, saw a white page Tomb of Dracula 1 sell for $11,400, which matched its last sale. This book doesn't come up often at a 9.8, but it is certainly down from its height. I think members were speccing more on the Bronze Age keys than the Dracula appearance that may or may not happen then. But we're seeing an increase in copies selling now because of the rumors and the possibility of vampires' introduction in the MCU.
So we mentioned how you traded this book in a 9.8 for the Journey into Mystery 83 and a 3.0 white pager. The big question is, did you make a good trade?
Journey 83 at a 3.0 off-white to white goes for a little more than $13,000. Considering this is a white pager, I'm valuing this closer to $13,500, $14,000.
So it sounds like a good trade.
Support the show directly by going to ComicTom101.com. Join the August Mystery Mail Call. 1 per box at random. We're sending out trade dresses or virgin copies of a Peach Momoko cover on Chris Claremont's new title, Gambit #1. ComicTom101.com to join the community. Shout out to Whatnot, who gave us the power we needed to make the undressed versions. We can't do that every month, so this is a great month to join. At the list at number 2, Journey into Mystery Annual #1.
A lot of speculation leading up to Thor Love and Thunder on whether or not Gore would butcher these guys. While they didn't get butchered, they did show up and there is some room for more.
First appearance of Zeus, first appearance of Hercules, and we get Hercules at the end of the movie. He's coming, and he's gonna cause a ruckus, which is causing a ruckus to the prices of this book.
This is also the first battle of Thor vs. Hercules, propelling the $2.5 to $312, which is 9% above its 12-month average.
A 5.0 hitting $700 is up 14% over its 12-month average of $615. The 5.5 all-time high was surpassed twice this week with an $850 sale and an $885 sale. The record was set in June for $840.
Which puts it up 5%. Then we have the CGC 6.5. It sold for $1,015, not only the highest sale this year, but the third highest sale of all time.
This book at a 9.4 when specs started in 2021 hit 84 hundo, and then as recently as July of this year, a 9.0 hit 4560. Where do you think this book will go long term? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll enter you to win this Omni-Man Invincible #1 at the list at #1, the #1 hottest book in the cosmos post Thor Love and Thunder is an independent comic book. We're talking The Boys issue #1 debuting in 2006.
So that's right, it's not Gore the God Butcher, but Billy Butcher in his first appearance in The Boys #1. It's also the first appearance of Huey and A-Train.
Season 3 was excellent. There is no better superhero show on television. It beats out everything on Disney Plus, anything on HBO, and these records are well deserved, especially the new 9.8 record leader.
Yeah, it seems like this book cannot stay off of our list. It was number 9 last week. It was number 4 a few weeks back. And here we are at #1. A CGC 9.4 had a tie for its all-time record high, selling for $200.
We saw a 9.6 sell for $280 this week. That's the second highest sale of all time and the highest this year.
Well, now let's hit him with some record breakers. The CGC 8.5 sold for $130 last year. It's up 15%, now selling for $150. And then we got to talk about the CGC 9.8. Its all-time record high in 2020 was $600. It's got 2 record-breaking sales, one for $650, and then one putting it 17% above that all-time record high, selling for $700.
The 9.8 hitting $700 this week for the first time in comic history. Hot damn. Let's celebrate. We've teamed up with Dynamite Comics to give away a diabolical set, the entire omnibus collection of The Boys. All you have to do is comment down below. We're celebrating San Diego Comic-Con, comic fam.
So that's right, 2 giveaways in one video. Geek responsibly and stay minty fresh.
Enough said. Join myself and Gem Mint on Whatnot all weekend. Link is in the description. Take a look at the 2 Mr. Easter variants that I teamed up with Scout Comics and the Whatnot Wednesday squad to produce. Both done by creator Kit Wallace. Support what we do and take a look at these 2 other videos. We made them for you.